Hello, my name is Amanda Brown, and this is the marketing plan for the Melrose Branch Public Library in Roanoke, Virginia. This presentation will be given to Library Director Sheila Umberger. The city of Roanoke has a population of just at 100,000, fluctuating a little bit. It is a refugee relocation site, so that really changes your population quite frequently. Surrounded by the Blue Ridge Mountains, it's a city that was born on trains and has now kind of had to find its path since the decline of the train industry. There's a lot of research facilities for Virginia Tech, and so the slogan now has become Train City to Brain City. Above, you'll find listed both the marketing team and the organizational structure. It's important to note that the Roanoke Public Libraries have a private foundation that offers financial support for programming and advertising assistance. This is different from the budget that the city provides. The Melrose Branch Public Library is very interesting. It's one of 7 Roanoke Public Library branches. It's in the northwest sector of Roanoke. It's an incredibly outdated building, over 50 years old. It also sits on the same property as a park with a basketball court directly across the street from a housing project. And the crime rate in northwest Roanoke is the highest in all of the city. There are multiple homicides there. There's an incredible gang affiliation. There's a lot of drug activity. It's a pretty dangerous location to be in. And because of that, we've had to alter different things about the Melrose Branch Library. Those top windows that you can see in this picture of the current branch are actually plexiglass because all of the old windows had been shot out previously, just through different activities in the area. The city of Roanoke puts a lot of focus and commitment into its libraries. The Melrose Branch Library is getting ready to have a brand new building built. It will actually be part of a larger Goodwill facility. The Goodwill building is a jobs location of 35,000 square feet. It's a large warehouse. The Melrose Branch is going to take over 13,000 square feet of that, and this project is set to begin this month and end in the winter of 2019. There are a lot of different parts of Melrose that make it interesting. Some of the strengths are the staff. Together, the 3 staff members have worked there for 75 years. And then that relocation. Also, it's a talking books library and the only one in Virginia west of Richmond. The weaknesses are, of course, that high crime rate, and a lot of people see it very negatively and are even fearful of coming in. Opportunities also kind of tie back into that new branch. There's a new marketing person, and there's a lot of opportunities to open up different programs and threats. There's a very big concern, I would say, about the new city manager. He is redoing the budget system. We do know that there's an intended shortfall, and it's kind of making everyone leery of moving forward with larger items. So who are we trying to target? We've got the geographic, the targeting the 99,660 citizens, so just under 100,000 of those. We really want to aim at that millennial demographic. There are tons of millennials, not many of them have library cards. The refugee relocation for the Roanoke Valley is actually in the Lansdowne neighborhood development, which is right across from the Melrose Library, so it's important to try to program and involve those refugees. And then, of course, the actual patrons themselves, those who may be fearful of coming into the branch, who maybe used to utilize it or just live in different parts of the city and are afraid of the reputation it has. Through an interview with Director Umberger, I found out that only 10% of citizens in Roanoke have library cards at all. The Melrose Branch specifically has the lowest offered programs, the lowest circulation statistics, and the oldest collections. I took myself to some community meetings, some neighborhood meetings, and many of the citizens, after giving a survey, the results said that they weren't aware of the programs. They weren't aware that a new branch was being built. Interviewing citizens was very interesting because not only were they not aware, and we knew that they would be fearful, they also weren't even aware of who the staff were. And that's saying something because of that 75 years altogether that they've been there. So it's not as if there's been a change recently and they wouldn't be familiar with the staff. It really says a great deal about the lack of interest and acknowledgement in the community. There's some very basic goals. One of them is to make sure that there's an increase in library card holders in Northwest Roanoke, and that's through just kind of sign-ups through daycare, schools, public spaces, and then changing the perception. And a great way to do that would be a branding campaign. It comes in at a perfect time with that new branch, and some of them include these really awesome wallpaper murals that the San Antonio Public Library did previously, and there'll be an image of that later on in the presentation. Another important goal is just increase the number of patrons utilizing it. So right now it is the lowest circulation, it's the lowest door count as well, and trying to get that up there is getting rid of the old materials, bringing in new materials, hosting open houses, and letting the neighborhoods see what's kind of happening in the branch, meeting the staff, having the neighborhood communities that I went to, the meetings and the associations actually come into the building and maybe host their monthly meetings there, and then just doing that really huge digital billboard campaign with that rebranding, and showing that they're closing the chapter on the new building and opening a chapter at this new location. So how do you make all that happen? Well, you have traditional media such as newspapers that we would do advertising in with that new branding, newsletters you can send out via email or just regular emails, letting not only internal stakeholders but external stakeholders know what's going on as well, different radio marketing campaigns and TV spots, maybe through public service announcements, or regular monthly check it out segments on some of the public broadcasting stations. Digital billboards are a really cool way to go and will offer a lot of flexibility. And then for social media, it's about having the Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and doing those campaigns for likes, but also for specific programs. And then, of course, the number one thing that will help the Melrose Branch Library is word of mouth. Because the perception is so negative, it's going to be very, very important for people to understand that things are changing and effort is being made, and it's a really, really great place to come. On the right here, you'll see this wallpaper mural that the San Antonio Public Library did. These really cool little stations they put up throughout the town in places you kind of wouldn't think of or relate to libraries that would remind the citizens that these services are offered. And then reverse graffitis on your left. It's this really awesome guerrilla marketing campaign where you have metal stencils cut and then you pressure wash the stencil. So with all the millennials looking down at their phones, they'll quickly see this interesting dynamic going on their feet underneath them, and maybe that leads them to the new library or says the new branding campaign and when the new library is opening. It's wonderful, it's super environmentally friendly, and it's just super cool to look at. Now I know what you're thinking. This budget is crazy. It's $56,700, which I know sounds enormous. However, $46,100 of that is staff and supplies are just sometimes one time only and not this recurring thing annually. So the rest of that, it comes down to just over $10,000. And really, this is not only doing a rebranding of the branch, but also reopening that Melrose Branch Library. So this includes the graffiti, the mural that we saw earlier, all the print media, the digital billboard, open house celebration with food and kind of hosting and inviting the neighborhood back into the branch. And then the social media campaigns with Snapchat geo-filters and boosted Facebook and Instagram posts. And as well as giveaways that when we go to different festivals and things, you can show that new brand and offer a prize or something tangible for patrons to take away. Thank you so much for viewing the marketing plan for the Melrose Branch Library. Above you'll find the references and research that was conducted to create the plan itself.